Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
All right, thanks a lot, Royce, and thank you for tuning into the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. I'm Rich Walsh. I'll be joined by Chris Mueller in just a matter of moments, so get on the Board Us hotline right now. 412-575-2600 is the number. Thanks for watching on Pittsburgh CW. Also streaming live on 93.7 The Fan. Hey, what's going on, Chris? How you doing?
Richie, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm
Good.
tired. The little baby, he's got us, he's running us ragged right now. So I am tired. However, Richie, I have training camp fever, my friend.
Oh, you do?
It's a close relative. It's a close relative of bucko fever, which I know you are routinely infected with on this show. I, however, have training camp fever.
You know what, Chris? I'm just getting out in front of everything, because in 2 years, everyone's going to be coming to me with all their Pirates questions. Because I have bucko fever right now. I'm optimistic.
So would you say you're patient zero? So
I
are you
am
patient zero for bucko fever?
I am patient zero for bucko fever. I've had it for a few years now. I've been hoping. But I see the light at the end of the tunnel finally. And I do see the light at the end of the tunnel for training camp fever like you have. And one of the most compelling stories, and we talked about it on Sunday and Monday, and I think we'll be talking about it every single day until September 11th, is who's going to be the starting quarterback. And I don't think that, even though they're saying it's a battle, I don't think it's a battle. Mitch Trubisky is the guy.
Well, we're going to be talking about it every day and that's part of the reason I actually am enjoying this camp more than I usually do. As far as observing it from afar, I'm usually just saying, oh my God, okay, everybody stay healthy, get the season here, and let's go. No Roethlisberger means a lot of intrigue at the highest profile position on the field, and that makes it much more interesting. And we will talk about it every day, Richie, but I'm with you. They certainly didn't make it look like a battle today, did they? I mean,
no.
Mike Tomlin gave all of the reps to Mitch Trubisky. If you want to make something look like a battle, you would have those reps be split up a lot more. They're not. It certainly does appear that Mitch Trubisky is going to be the guy. It's not going to stop us, of course, from psychoanalyzing every throw that every one of these guys makes. I believe the report today was that Trubisky threw 2 bad balls when they started going, and you could already hear somebody from the stands yell, let's go, get Pickett in there. That's what's going to happen. But I do think that Mitch Trubisky, I would be very surprised if he is not the starter in week 1 in Cincinnati.
Is anyone yelling, go, get Mason in there? I didn't hear that at all. It seems like everyone wants him traded. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's his value. I just have a very hard time. I know there are people whose opinions I respect, who cover the team, who talk to more people associated with the team certainly than I do, who maybe talk to the player himself, Mason Rudolph, who really have a feel like he could actually surprise some people here. But think about what that would take, Richie. Hey, we brought Mitch Trubisky in. That was the wrong move. Hey, we drafted Kenny Pickett 20th overall. That too was the wrong move. This guy we had a first-round grade on 5 years ago or whatever, whose teammate in college we drafted around before him, he finally showed us something after the GM who actually selected him left the organization and retired. I mean, that would just be, it feels like that would be almost an act of God for Mitch Trubisky, or for Mason Rudolph to win this job.
I listened to the interview that you guys had Ramon Foster on your air, right? It was a couple days ago.
Yep. Yesterday. Yep.
And I think I was up at camp or something, or driving there or whatever. But he was saying he wished that Mason Rudolph would have got a legit chance at being a starter, which surprises me. That really did surprise me. I know a couple other former players and players
Chris
that were on
Hoke
the team.
is one of them.
Yes, Chris Hoke has said
Chris
that
Hoke,
too.
He's very vocal in his support of Mason Rudolph. And I mean, listen, in Ramon's case and Chris Hoke's case, those are both guys who came into the NFL, maybe not with that round 3 pedigree that Mason Rudolph had, but I think both of those guys, in fact, I know, had to sort of fight and claw and most importantly, sort of show what they could do and prove themselves. So I do think that players who have that path to their NFL career, like Ramon did, like Chris Hoke did, believe that Mason has something to show. I think veterans and guys who played in the league for a pretty long time, who were part of championship caliber clubs or teams that seriously contended for ones, Richie, also have a different sort of viewpoint on this kind of a derby. I think they trust a veteran, a guy who, even if he hasn't had a ton of success, has been in the battles, more than they do a rookie. I don't agree with that school of thought, but I do think that underpins or explains why you hear so many guys who actually played the game, played for the Steelers, actually vouching for Mason Rudolph.
I really think, Chris, and I don't know how you feel, but I really think even if Mason Rudolph is the best quarterback out of camp, put up some big numbers in the preseason games, I still don't think he's going to be the starter.
He would have to look phenomenal, like nothing short of. I mean, he would have to look so leaps and bounds ahead of both of those guys that I guess they felt like Trubisky became expendable to them. They would have to think that Rudolph looks so good, and maybe probably too that Pickett looks so good, that they could proceed forward by trading Trubisky to a team that might give them something more in return. Even then, even as I say that out loud, Richie, it just sounds so ridiculous to suggest, right?
Yeah.
Just every move that they have made this offseason has telegraphed the idea that Mason Rudolph's days with the team are numbered.
Yeah, and it's typical Steelers. It's the way they operate, that they're going to ride this out with Mason Rudolph and try to trade him or do something with him at the end of the year. Look, I just don't see Mason Rudolph being on this team and being the third quarterback. If he's on the team, he's either going to be the starter or the backup, and I don't think he's going to be the starter.
The most interesting thing I think that has been said about him so far was Mike Florio, Pro Football Talk, was on our show today on the PM team, and he just said very succinctly of the Pickett-Rudolph dynamic. He said if Kenny Pickett cannot beat out Mason Rudolph and quickly to ascend to that backup role, then you'll know that something has gone drastically wrong in the evaluation and selection process for Pickett, and I agree with that. I think the most interesting thing there is to just see how quickly does Kenny Pickett supplant him as number 2 on this depth chart, because if it doesn't happen, unless it's Mike Tomlin making it explicitly clear that, hey, I'm keeping Pickett there, that's where I want him, it has nothing to do with performance, he should jump Mason Rudolph very quickly.
Yeah, he needs to get the reps. You want the guy, even if he's not going to be the starter this year, you're preparing him for next year or the year after. You got to get him the reps. He has to be the backup, and we have to take a break. Back with your phone calls, 412-575-2600 on the Bordas and Bordas hotline. Thanks for watching on Pittsburgh CW. Also, thanks for listening live on 93.7 The Fan.